Okay, folks, I think we're ready to go. Before I turn it over to Kathy, just a little housekeeping. As I remind every week, this session is being recorded for record keeping and quality assurance and training purposes. It will be made available on the Washington County Challenge YouTube channel and Facebook page. So you can go back and see that later, and we might even upload it to the incubators, but it'll be available in multiple locations for you. So that's all I have. I'm stop sharing, and I am turning it over to either Nita or Kathy, whoever wants to take it over.
I think we're going to let Nita talk first. She's going to introduce the judges and the alternate for us.
Well, good evening. Can you believe it's our sixth session? So tonight we have our distinguished panel of judges, and I would like to introduce them.
Okay, so everybody that doesn't need to speak, please mute your mic because it is echoing.
Okay. First off, we have Sally Stringer Scott. She's Treasury Services Representative for First Community Bank. Samir Patel, he's President of Mountain Hospitality, LLC, Comfort Inns of Abingdon. Jim Swartz, he's Vice President, Loan Review Officer for Powell Valley National Bank. Then we have Joel Jerkins. Joel and his wife Vanessa are the owners of JJ's Restaurant and Sports Bar and Papa Tom's Cajun Persuasion. Thank you.
Okay, so panelists, if you remember last week, we chose positions of when you were going to do your pitch. And so before I start calling out each person's name, I want to tell you that the pitches are 8 minutes. Nita is going to start the timer, and at 7 minutes, she's going to just say 1 minute. That will interrupt you for a second, but she's just going to let you know you have 1 minute to wrap it up. Then our judges each have a chance to ask a question. We ask the judges, to be cognizant, if you will, of the amount of time that you're speaking to a contestant, because, that kind of gives each contestant more discussion time. So, be careful with your questions and try to give each individual contestant the same amount of questioning and timing. And we will let you all know once all the scorecards are done when we're going to make the announcement. We haven't quite decided that yet because of COVID. We don't know how long it's going to take the judges to do that. So we will let you all know through email when the announcement's going to be made. Okay? Okay. So I see Katie here on the screen, and Katie is with Sprout Consignment, and Katie is our first pitch.
Hey, I'm just trying to get to that screen where it says screen share. Sorry. 1 second. Everybody's still little and it's hard to see.
Katie, it might be either on the bottom. Just depends on how you have your screen set up. It's in a green, a lime green.
So before, when everybody was, oh, here we go, maybe. I guess I gotta, oh, here we go. Okay. I was minimized, but now I think I'm rocking and rolling here. All right. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
All right, you all let me know when to go.
Go now.
All right. Hey, everybody. I am Katie Humphreys. I'm the owner and operator of Sprout Consignment here in Abingdon. We are located between JJ's and Play Now in the Highland Shopping Center, and you can also find us on Facebook and on Instagram. We are where to go when your kids grow. Sprout is a community-based, community-supported consignment shop created to meet the growing needs of families here in Southwest Virginia. We are unique, we are thoughtful, and we are affordable. We are the region's shopping destination for savvy-minded parents as well as their friends and their families. This May, we're going to be celebrating 10 years of being in business. The seed for the business was planted back in 2005, which feels like forever ago. It was during my final semester at JMU. I was working at a consignment shop, and I had the opportunity to be a team lead and learn the business from the ground up. And then when I returned to Abingdon in 2010, I recognized that there was a need for something similar to that in our area. I found that the options for shopping were limited. When I looked at the market, I found that there was nothing created specifically for kids. There was nothing that was both high quality and reasonably priced, and there was nothing that was tailored to the tastes of the customers. There was certainly a need for something different in our area for kids. After assessing the needs of the community, I was able to develop solutions to meet the needs of the target market. We are not merely a resale shop. We are a consignment shop, meaning that we pay our consigners up to 50% of selling price for their items, and this encourages them to part with some of their most special pieces. So that framework provides us with an abundance of high quality items. We are also in a great location. We are centrally located between Route 19 and Interstate 81, so we are easily accessible for shoppers from many different communities. We offer hand-picked items for our customers from their favorite brands. The items are tailored to meet their preferences. So that means that we are thoughtful because we always have those customers in mind. We are also affordable. We carry like new items that are priced more than half off retail. And in addition to that, our sales provide up to 75% off our already low prices. We are sustainable because shopping and consigning with us helps us to all do our part to reduce our environmental impact. We are appealing and accessible to all. Most importantly, we are the best option in the area for our customers. Our competitors do not fully meet the needs of our customers. The thrift shops in town do not offer high quality hand-selected items. Specialty stores do not offer affordable price points, and big box stores do not offer a tailored shopping experience. We, of course, however, do. We have low prices, we have high quality items, and we have an experience that is tailored to the taste of the shoppers. Our target market includes customers that are on trend, they are smart, and they are sensible. They are of varying economic statuses. They live here in Abingdon as well as the surrounding areas. And we capture two age groups. With our target market, we have that 25 to 45 range and the 55 to 75 range because it includes parents and grandparents and then those aunts and uncles and friends of the family as well. We have a variety of ways for our customers to shop with us. They can shop with us in store, virtually, or they can do a claim and pay through our Facebook and Instagram. So our customers have access to consignment items, which are clothing and shoes for preemies up to size 14, 16, as well as maternity items, toys, and equipment. They can also shop our merchandise from the Bee and the Fox, Wubba Nub, and Num Nums. And another way to shop is Little C Collective, which is something new for us that's going to provide an option for customers to shop unique handmade gifts, sort of like an Etsy here locally. It's going to feature toys, clothing, blankets, and art from local artisans. Another thing that we're going to be rolling out for this year is a spot buy where people can come in and do a grab and go gift. And those price points are going to be $25 up to $100. And the gifts are going to be themed and going to feature different segments of our business, consignment items mixed in with merchandise or maybe things from Little C Collective as well. So just to calm me down and break this up a little bit, here are some of my kids wearing stuff that they got from the shop. In the first picture, we've got Sid in a Baby Gap shirt and H&M pants, Livy and Lucas shoes, and behind him, his big sister Rory is wearing a Vineyard Vines dress and native shoes. Rory's in the second picture wearing a reversible North Face coat, a crew cut dress, tea leggings, and Libby and Luca Mary Janes. And then that last picture is Sid wearing a Hannah Anderson beach cover up. So we have a great selection of really nice, high quality items, and it filters throughout the year. Like every season, we get some really great stuff in. Here are some of our retail items that I touched on. The first is the Bee and the Fox, and they have t-shirts and sweatshirts. On top there in the second column is the Num Num, which is a goo tinsel. It's for self-feeding for babies that are, just beginning with that journey. And then I'm sure you guys have probably seen the Wubba Nub pacifiers. We carry those as well. So we keep our current customers interested, and we work to acquire new ones through our marketing strategy. We use social media as a means to post our products and also as a way to interact with our customers. We engage with our customers through our posts, by directing ads, and by hosting contests. We hold quarterly giveaways for customers who post their purchase with our hashtags, and we host photo contests several times a year to build our reach. The photo contest typically adds about 25 to 50 new followers per contest because people are encouraging their friends and families to vote for their picture. So it's a really neat way for us to get some people that are directly linked to people who are already our customers. We have a shopping and a referral program, and both of those recognize and reward our customers. And then we touch base periodically with our customers through our emails, utilizing both MailChimp and the Wolf Whistle. And something we'd like to try to do more of this year for 2021 is community outreach using rack cards and then advertising in church bulletins, PTO programs, and sports programs. So our biggest adjustment for 2021 is our internship model, and it's a program that's going to foster growth and expansion. So we're going to be seeking candidates for this position that will possess both promise and have a commitment to long-term learning of the business. So they're going to be sort of like me, learning the business from the ground up. And the goal is to place this candidate in a management position, and then initially at the Abingdon location and hopefully later at an expansion location with an opportunity to franchise. So this is going to be really great for me because it's going to free me up from some of those daily tasks that I have to do currently, allowing for think time and encouraging development of new programs, and then allowing for research and development of those programs. So our goals are to become the region's premier shopping destination for growing families and to provide a quality shopping experience that is affordable and unique. We're going to be deliberate with our choices to obtain these goals. So for 2021, we're going to increase efficiency with our internship model. We'll be increasing our sales by expanding our hours and starting the Spot Buy and the Little C Collective. And then for 2023, we'll be expanding our reach with 2 additional sale options: High Street Consignment, which will be for ladies and moms that would typically shop with us anyway. And then Lended by Sprout, which is going to be a rental segment of the business for toys and equipment for, families that might be visiting from out of the area.
8 minutes is up.
8 minutes is up. Oh my gosh, sorry.
Great job.
Okay, judges, do you have any questions of Katie?
Katie, can you stop sharing your screen?
I can, yes ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, if a judge has a question, please raise your hand. And if not, we will move on to the next contestant. Okay. The next contestant is Dawn Williams.
I don't know what happened to the screen.
We can see you.
Excellent.
Okay. Do you need to share the screen?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. All right. So, Nita, are you ready to start timing? Okay.
I'm
Dawn.
ready.
Okay, Don.
Good evening, all. My name is Donald Williams. I want to introduce my project, which is a video documentary called The Seasons of the Creeper Trail. My background is I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, a master's in marketing. I'm an author and a songwriter. Tonight, I'm going to show you the birth of two new industries. I intend to self-fund this program. Therefore, I'll have no loans, no partners, no investors, and no outside interference. I'll be a sole proprietor until time passes to determine if I need an S corporation. Through the CARES Act of Washington County, I acquired 2 new computers, a printer, cameras, a drone, and the ancillary equipment that supports this, plus a 1-year subscription to the Geek Squad. The Creeper Trail is free, so my out-of-pocket cost has been $120, and I purchased these hats and sweaters and had a monogram. The income from this potential is you've all seen a race car. The sponsors put their information on the car. Therefore, I will be asking businesses along the Creeper Trail if they would like to participate and be identified in this documentary if they wish to pay a fee. The real market for this is content buyers. The skills that are going to be necessary are videography, management, sales, editing, and overall responsibility. I intend to, as part of the marketing program, set up a blog with a link. And on this blog, I'll have chapters of the second book I wrote, which is called Female Payback. And it is a story about a woman who kills her second husband and her boyfriend at the same time. And it's viewed by these 2 dead men living out in the netherworld, observing her lifetime. It's interesting. I have, and at the end of each blog will be a little clip of the Creeper Trail. I have located people who want to be receiving this blog through the link that have 10,000 followers so far. Streaming is becoming a big industry with Hulu and Netflix and Amazon and Disney creating their own video to go to your computer. This will compete with National Geographic Channel and Discovery Channel for content. In addition, SpaceX, through their company Starlink, are testing outer space, telecommunication, internet to be beamed down to Earth. They now have 400 satellites in testing for the objective of 12,000 satellites around the world. This means that they will have more need for content, and the streamers will have more need for satellites. These 2 industries will support each other, which means an independent producer of documentaries and content will have a new market for people who need to buy for 24/7 production into the future. This creates a new market. I intend to personally visit each one of these buyers, wherever they may be located, and then put that network together. So whether they purchase the documentary of the Seasons of the Creeper Trail or not, I will have a network for future productions and also be able to represent others who have no access but have a program. All of this is technical. the Creeper Trail is for fun. And what happens is we want to see
She was so cute in her blue velvet and her blue jacket to match her eyes. He wanted to meet her, so he'll just try. The creeper trail, the creeper trail, and her on the creeper trail. She was just walking, looking around, enjoying the scenery when she saw him. He looked so sloppy in his old high clothes. She wanted to meet him so nobody knows. The creeper trail, the creeper trail. He met her on the creeper trail.
hey there. You want to walk together?
Sure.
We have the Creeper Trail is for fun. So this winter, the sky has all been gray and cold and rainy, and you've been stuck in your house wearing a mask and grouchy and bored. And suddenly spring comes, and you walk outside and you feel the sun in your face, and you hear the birds begin their songs, and you smell the fragrance of the Easter lilies coming up. Isn't that what you really want? Thank you for your time. I'll answer any questions.
Judges, do you have any questions? Okay, I don't see anybody's hand raised as far as the judges are concerned. And so the next contestant tonight.
Samir, are you raising your hand?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Kathy
Oh, I'm
Samir.
sorry, Samir. I was looking down here in the chat screen.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hey, Don,
Hey,
this is Samir Patel. I have a question.
yes,
How
sir.
affordable your content's gonna be for participant on the Creeper Trail if somebody wants to? Since you don't have that much startup expense, are you gonna make it affordable for people who want to be buying into your program?
Sure. I have solicited sponsors for race cars. I've been an associate sponsor on a race car, so I'm familiar with that, and I've been in business for 45 years. Yes, I'll have a reasonable fee schedule. I'll be glad to come and see you.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, any more questions? Before we go any further, we failed to introduce Elizabeth Gardner as an alternate judge. And so thank you, Elizabeth. We actually recruited her not less than 2 hours ago. So she graciously agreed to help us out.
Happy to help.
Okay, so the next contestant then is Crafts on Main, Jenny Carlisle.
Hello. All right, share screen. Files. Oh shoot, I'm not seeing my Google Drive. Hang on. When I tested it, I was able to see my Google Drive, And now I don't even see that.
Do you have an option there for additional files?
Yeah. I clicked on that and it just shows Microsoft and it doesn't show Google Drive. Oh, that's lovely.
Jenny,
Yeah.
I use Google Drive for mine too. Did you already have it pulled up before you did your screen share?
I did.
Oh, sorry. That was my only input there.
Oh, I did. I had it all queued up and ready to go. Now I don't see it. What in the world? Any tips from anyone?
Hey, Jenny, do you want us to go to the next competitive?
Oh wait, I think I think I found it.
Okay.
Is that there?
Yep. There you go. Very good.
Okay.
Tell Nita when to start timing.
So you guys can see me and the screen. So we're good?
We're good.
All right. Hang on. All right, let's go. I'm Jenny Carlisle. I'm the owner of Crafts on Main here in Abingdon. We are a fabric and craft supply retail shop and learning center. We sell natural fiber garment fabrics, indie sewing patterns, Cricut machines, kids craft kits, and quilting cotton. And we are located on Main Street right next to Front Row Music and across the street from the police department. And according to VDOT, over 12,000 vehicles pass by us each day, so our location works for us. We've been open exactly 1 year as of yesterday, and we're here to serve Abingdon's large arts and crafts community. And before the pandemic, DIY was one of the largest industries in the nation. And now, as people have been trying to keep themselves busy while they're staying at home, it has just exploded even more. Here are some recent headlines about sewing that were in the news. The last one saying, sewing rockets off the charts during the pandemic. And I love that one. So our first year in business has actually been pretty successful as people have turned to sewing due to the mask mandates. And that has actually acted as a launching point for the shop. Since the virus hit within a couple weeks of our opening, I have personally sewn and sold over 2,700 masks in the shop. And that really helped get our name out and let people know we're here and we're open. And it helped get people in the shop that might not have otherwise known that a new crafty place was here in town. As I mentioned, in addition to retail, we are a learning center. And I can't even put a number on the amount of people who have come in over the past year asking if I could help guide them through sewing a face mask. And that has had this fantastic conversion rate for the shop because sewing a mask is easy enough that it acts like a gateway into the rabbit hole of all the cool things that you can do with a sewing machine. So here are a couple of Facebook posts from the past year. One of them, you see that a WCYB reporter wearing my masks while she was on the air. And then another one where we joked about changing the name of the shop to Masks on Main, and the Facebook community loved that one. So our classes this past year were just booming as much as they could be with social distancing and with the stay-at-home directives that stopped our classes for half of the year. So I have 3 instructors plus myself teaching both kids and adults in various crafty disciplines. And teaching the kids classes is by far my personal favorite because it builds their confidence and it unlocks their creativity. And it basically gives me a long-term customer. So those are the ones I like to do the best. We've had 77 class participants over the past year. And I believe that probably would have been doubled were it not for our classes being stopped for half of the year due to the pandemic. So, and now I have to cap my class sizes really small in order to accommodate for social distancing. So I think that is an area of our business that is really going to grow as we start to see some relief from the virus. We carry a lot of kids craft kits in the shop, and I do this strategically And it has worked out extremely well for the business as kids have been out of school so much. In one example, I have kids coming in with their moms and, "Ooh, mom, can I have this?" And in another example, I have customers coming in and buying crafty kits for kids that they know. And the parents of those kids in turn will come in and say, "Hey, my kid really loved putting this together." And then they signed the kids up for the youth classes that we have. So it works really well. And I make sure to carry a lot of things for kids in the shop as well. We are a brick and mortar retail shop. And over the past 12 months of operation, I've averaged selling 32 items each business day that I've been open. Currently, 1/5 of our sales revenue comes from online sales generated from our website and also from our Etsy shop where we sell some of our inventory. And the rest is walk-in traffic. In the beginning of January, things kind of finally slowed down enough to where I've had some time to start listing more of our stock online. So I believe that that ratio is going to begin shifting pretty quickly towards online sales. I've already noticed a spike in it in the past couple weeks. So obviously the majority of our customer base is local, but we also get a lot of online sales from the West Coast states where I'm from. And last week we had a pretty big order from Australia, which was pretty cool. With all of these numbers, I feel so excited at how well the first year in business went. And I think that I'm positioned strongly in the local market for longevity and for growth. Our nearest brick and mortar competitors are probably Walmart and Hobby Lobby. And so many people come into my shop thanking me for being open and for saving them from a trip to Walmart, and commenting on how no one really locally sells garment fabrics anymore and that they love that I do. So while I can't carry the volume that the big box stores do, the items that I do carry definitely get appreciated for their quality and their uniqueness. Our biggest online competitor is probably Amazon, but I find that utilizing Etsy as a sales platform really helps me to reach a larger audience while not undercutting my prices in order to compete. Because the people who shop on Etsy generally know that they are supporting a small business, and so they're more willing to pay for the quality that they're getting. We've sold 41 items on Etsy in the past 2 weeks, so that's a growing revenue stream for us. While some might think, oh, sewing, nobody does that anymore, I find that it has made this fantastic resurgence in the past 2 decades that I've been involved with it, as many younger people are opting out of the made in China generic items and are appreciating the process and the quality of doing it themselves. The slow fashion hashtag on Instagram, for example, has over 9 million posts, and the Makers Gonna Make hashtag has over 11 million. So I think it's safe to say that it's a stable industry, and it's a community that I just love being part of. So as I look at my business now versus 1 year ago, the area that will help me grow upwards is to hire help. As I mentioned, including myself, we currently have 4 instructors in residence, but for the retail part of the business, it's just me. And I would love to be able to extend the hours that the shop is opened and serve the local community better. So this year, I'm hoping to get to a place where I can hire an employee to work in the retail section, which will then free me up to be able to teach more classes and grow the business that way as well. So I feel really good about how the first year in operation went, and I'm excited to see where the next year takes me. Yep.
8 minutes.
Very good. Judges, do you have any questions? Judges, any questions? Okay. No questions, and we are down to contestant number 4, which is Powerhead Superfoods, Eric Fields.
All right, what's going on? Why can I not see? There we go. Can you all see that?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, I am Eric Fields, and I am with Powerhead Superfoods. Essentially, I am a Central Florida native, self-prescribed COVID pilgrim. I moved here last year in an effort to start a business. I studied applied math and physics at Florida Institute of Technology. My great-grandfather was a beekeeper. It stayed in the family, so I'm a 4th-generation beekeeper. I have 15 years plus experience as a veganic and organic gardener. That includes indoor and outdoors, hydroponics, aeroponics, conventional gardening. Also before I moved up, I worked in car dealership marketing. That included marketing 2 dealerships and 4 dealerships for Dominion Enterprises. In addition to this, who will be joining me on this venture will be my brother-in-law, William Reefus, who will be helping me in any capacity I need, and he'll also be apprenticing. And then Christina Clark Reefus, who is a daughter of a sharecropper and a tobacco farmer right here in Bristol, Virginia, and she's my mother-in-law. So we are a 19-acre farm in Washington County. We're going to produce year-round, grow-to-order, top-quality microgreens that are grown veganically. Initially, we'll be utilizing about 2 acres for lavender, and we'll be selling those as dry bouquets, essential oils, other products. I keep throwing around the word veganic, and as you can see, the definition's right there. It means we aren't going to use any products in the substrate, growing medium, or the nutrients. And also microgreens are generally something between a sprout and a baby leaf, and they tend to be 40 times more nutritionally valuable than any mature greens. So we own the property, the equipment, delivery, transportation. We have a greenhouse now in construction, a separate indoor grow space, and I have a secondary income. This will allow me to devote all my time to this venture. We'll either produce them inside the greenhouse, or we'll produce them inside our indoor space, or we can double up and we have twice the amount of capacity. And as I said, they are 40 times more rich, and there's a good trend, including myself, of health conscious people who want this product, but there's no sole provider microgreens here. So why veganics over organics? Basically, things will build up in the soil. And as you can see here, if you ever did this when you were young, you have celery and food coloring. This basically shows how osmosis brings things up into the plant. It could be any type of pollutant, contaminant. One contaminant that's a big thing can be antibiotics left over in the manures of cows. That's a huge thing that can be with organics. No salt residues will be left, which can affect the taste, and that can be the same thing. Whatever can be in there will be in the plant. E. coli has been attributed to contaminated runoff either by using manures on purpose or from other farms that have leached. And I think we'll see a good trend in the future, especially people like my brother who have become vegan. He won't use any animal products whatsoever. And I think supplies for organic gardening will start to dwindle. So our first phase of our business, which will take over the next 2 years, but as you can see from April to May, we will finish our greenhouse and we're going to start 90% veganic microgreens in soil, meaning we'll still be using some organic compounds until we can transition to full hydroponics. We'll also plant all the lavender plants. I expect to finish that in August, and I have Saskatraz honeybees on the way from California. And basically, they're a honeybee breed that has been bred to get rid of a lot of problems that I dealt with in Florida, which are varroa mites, American foul brood, small hive beetles. So they're going to be a good investment. Phase 2, once we get everything planted, I intend to plant cover crops in between all the rows so we can cut fertilizer costs. Generally, like crimson clover will handle nitrogen in the soil. Then I'll harvest that and we'll compost it, and then I'll ferment it, which I'll turn the compost tea, and that'll be the nutrients for most of the microgreens that we use either indoors or in the greenhouse. At this time, I'd like to transfer over to all hydroponic and aeroponic systems. And for those of you who don't know what aeroponic and hydroponic is, aeroponic has the roots suspended in air and a nutrient solution sprayed, no soil. And yet again, hydroponics has the roots suspended in an oxygen-rich nutrient solution. So a little different there. Our last phase will start in May of 2022. I intend to split the beehives, and we'll start producing queens to sell. And those are going to be locally adapted to this climate, which is kind of one of my things is I really want to produce a honeybee breed that is specifically adapted to the climate right here in Southwest Virginia. We'll also continue harvesting and produce products that we can sell lavender either wholesale or retail, however that may be. And we'll continue expanding our microgreen sales. So our competitors and markets, our market includes health food stores, doctors and nutritionists. Actually, my personal doctor has already been chafing at the bit to get some. Restaurants, florists, edible arrangements, you name it, we can pretty much sell it there. We have a couple competitors. We have one small microgreen provider in Johnson City. And of course, because it's a pretty lucrative crop, there'll be other small scale operations that will pop up. We also have a lavender farm right here in Abingdon, Virginia, which is a couple years ahead of where we are. I believe they have about 3 acres from what I saw. And so they're pretty established, but there's quite a market for lavender. I use several lavender products myself. And then Poor Valley Bee Farm in Mendota produces, they sell packaged bees, they sell queens, they sell the same things we would, but we'll be producing our own from a very rare breed, which is the Saskatchewan bees. So here's some numbers. Basically, we have a max capacity of 960 trays, which is basically a 10 by 20 plastic container for growing, and I'll show you a picture in a second. And they each produce about 20 ounces, and varieties of microgreens generally sell between $25 and $40 a pound. So our year 1 and year 2 gross income, I figure a good projection for us would be a 30% capacity, which is right around $69,120 a year. Our cost would be about $17,400 in supplies and $15,600 in labor, because I figure I would pay myself what would be the $15 minimum wage. So we would net a profit of $36,120 in year 1, which would be this year, and year 2, which would be year 2022. So for lavender can only be harvested. You have to wait 1 year to start harvesting lavender, and then it can be harvested every subsequent year without replanting. So on a figure, 12,000 dried bouquets can be produced per acre at $10 each. And I figured at 30% capacity with 2 acres, we would produce about $72,000 worth. And the 2 years of cost for labor and equipment costs and such will be $39,034, which nets our second year profit at $32,966. And that is who we are. Any questions?
So judges, do you have any questions of Eric?
I'll get out of this. There we go.
No questions. Going once.
Eric, can you?
I'm trying to. It jumped me right out. Pause share. Stop share. There we go. Got it. Sorry about that.
Okay, judges. Do you have any questions? Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Eric. And we're down to contestant number 5, Richard Graves.
Hey, all right, I'm sharing my screen. You all have done a great job so far, so hard acts to follow. My name is Richard Graves. I'm an artist and an illustrator here from Abingdon, Virginia. I'm really excited about the work that I'm doing, and I'm hoping with this presentation I'll get you all excited about it too. But more importantly, I hope after my presentation you all will be excited about arts and culture in the entire region as a whole, and not just the work that I'm doing. I describe myself as a neo-Appalachian artist, and I'll go into that a little bit more later. My elevator pitch is I illustrate the ghosts of things that haunt us, and watercolor and ink are my wheelhouse. I also do gouache, acrylic, some oil. I do a lot of digital illustration and design, so I'm a very interdisciplinary artist. And the subjects of my work are a lot of fan art, a lot of pet portraits. I do surreal portraiture, and figure drawing as kind of the basis of the themes that I work with in my art. My background is pretty important to kind of get an understanding of how this became a passion. I was the co-owner of Annabelle's Curse LLC and was also their manager and booking agent, a popular Americana band in the region. And I saw how much artists struggle, and I also got to see a lot of folks that were trying to make a living and make a sustainable practice from art and music, and I learned about managing a business. I also worked at WEHC 90.7, the 9,000 watt radio station. I was the general manager, and that showed me, helped me grow my affinity with the community, but also show me how important it is to tell people stories. So I want to use my art to tell the story of how arts and culture in this region is starting to change and is going to change drastically over the next decade or so. Neo-Appalachian art is both a conversation I've had with a lot of other artists, musicians, and creatives in the area, and this is kind of a real loose list of things that we see as characteristics of art in this region, but this list also kind of doubles as my core values and the things that I see as most important in my business. So they're kind of the points that I'm going to use to make sure I'm doing service to the community, along with making a living wage myself to help advance arts in the community. I'm a member of a lot of arts organizations and collaboratives where I'm a board member. I'm on a part of the Defined Bodies figure drawing group. I'm on the board for Bristol and Bloom Festival, the Southern Community Culture Coalition, and Arts Alliance of Mountain Empire that many of you know of putting out a magazine each month. So those organizations, I'm going to do some of my organizing work and help advance the arts in this region. Of course, that leads how am I going to make my livelihood? And the biggest thing before the pandemic was shows, and I'm still doing those. There's a big subculture of artists selling their art directly to people, and I've made all the initial investments I need to be able to go to where the people are. So instead of tying myself to one location, especially when the pandemic's over and as much as I can safely now, I'm going to be out and about. And this is also a way where I can help local businesses grow their reach and make this region just a better place to live. This picture is from Abingdon Vineyards, and it was an evening where I collaborated with several other artists, the vineyards themselves, Appalachian food truck, and I had a much better night because I worked with other businesses, and if I did it correctly, I hope they had a better night, and I was able to build their capacity to serve their customers as well. I also have, because I've been doing this as a hobbyist for a few years, I can make my giclée prints, which is a fancy word for inkjet prints, at home. So I package those up in archival paper, and my inventory is very high quality, and I control the means of production myself since I can do a lot of it in-house. I work with other people and local companies for some of the stickers and t-shirts and other merchandise. And I also go out of my way when people order something, they get something extra. They get an extra sticker, original illustration, a doodle, some type of thing they're not expecting. So my retention rate for customers is really high. Almost everyone comes back and orders from me over and over again. I also do a whole bunch of commissions, and pet portraits are a big part of that. People love portraits of their pets. I sell a lot on consignment too. So this is a print that's very popular and sells a good bit at the Birthplace of Country Music Museum. So consignment's a big part of my business as well. In April, I'm going to be starting a crowdfunding using Patreon and be asking for direct support from people that have shown interest in supporting my work. And it's on that Patreon as the platform where I'm going to share a little bit more of my behind the scenes, my community involvement, my organizing work, in addition to sneak previews. So I'm expecting that to be a really strong revenue stream since I've had a good bit of interest in it already, and wait till I can make sure to have enticing incentives for people. The most important part of my business plan was not what I was planning on doing, but it's where the money is going to be and where I want to bring the money to this region in the next few years, and that's online sales. The art industry is a $60 billion industry, and the slice of that is online sales is expected to double in the next few years. 2019 showed almost $5 billion of online art sales, and it's expected to be over $9 billion by 2024. And I think there's a lot of ways that artists working in this region can build their capacity to sell online. So in addition to, getting the people here in the shows and helping the community, I think a lot of the artists are working together to build those collaboratives where they can go online and have that be a lucrative source of income to supplement the online and the local gallery traditional art selling things. My audience is very firmly 25 to 35. I see that across all of my social media platforms. Those ages skew a lot older in this region, and I think that's more of a reflection of the local demographic. Also, 3 out of every 4 people that purchase something are female are identifying. So all of these metrics I can use to market to the folks that want to buy my art. Locally, I'm marketing myself by being where the people are, being with other businesses. I'm in the Reese Museum right now. I have a handful of shows and festivals up and down the 81 corridor this summer already, and hoping to book more once I'm vaccinated. I send out a newsletter every month to reach my audience and have thousands of followers across various social media platforms. But the marketing for my individual prints online is going to be the most surefire thing for me. If I have a print of Johnny Cash, I can take my marketing budget and market directly to people that are interested in Johnny Cash and interact with Johnny Cash fan pages. So thank you all for your time and consideration, and happy to answer any more questions.
Judges, do you have any questions? So while Richard's getting out of the screen, you have time to ask a question if you want to.
Hey, Richard, this is Samir Patel. I got a question. Is it going to be just one person business, or you are planning to have people under your wings, either as an apprentice or provide more employment in the region?
Sure, that's a kind of a complicated question. Later on, I would like to get to a place where I can hire someone and have a bricks and mortar place. But helping the other artists, I'm not looking at doing that for a revenue stream. I want to do that to give back to the community, because a lot of my business plan, I've been talking to other artists that have more experience than me. So I feel like if we partner, not as a part of a business, I'm going to start off as a sole proprietorship. I want to keep all the finances separately, but I want to work with other artists so we can all build our capacity and make more money together. So there'll be a lot of working with other folks professionally, but as far as the actual legal business, we're going to keep the finances separate in all the ways that I'm doing that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, any other questions? Very good. We are down to Tyler Reynolds.
All right. Thank you all for taking the time to be here tonight. My name is Tyler Reynolds East, and my company is Side Yard Community Supported Agriculture. We are winding up for our first season, and our mission is to grow vegetables to feed the community using excess yard space and no-till practices at a human scale so that families may enjoy local, seasonal produce while reducing their environmental impact. Here's a few problems to keep in mind as we go through this presentation that I think Side Yard may be able to play a part in solving. According to a Ballad Health report from 2018, 30% of Washington County residents are obese. In a CDC survey, 18% of Virginians report not eating vegetables regularly. On average, emissions from plant-based foods are 10 to 50 times smaller than those from animal products. And currently, there are only 2 other CSAs operating in Abingdon, neither of which offer delivery. And anecdotally, in speaking with former members of those CSAs, they were unsatisfied with their experience. So CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. It is a farming model that arose in the 1980s where farmers offer shares in their farm, and in exchange, they provide weekly produce boxes to their members. There are several benefits to this model. For consumers, there's the obvious draw of fresh local food, but there's also an element of transparency, convenience, and variety that customers might not find when buying their produce at a grocery store. With CSAs, you can visit the farm whenever you like, you have healthy produce selected for you, and you have a variety of produce that changes from week to week, as well as from year to year. Buying from local producers also reduces your carbon footprint drastically, as your produce does not have to be shipped across the country before it reaches you. For growers, the biggest benefit is that selling shares in your CSA offers cash up front before the season starts, exactly when you need it. The beginning of the growing season is when you have to pay for seeds, compost, infrastructure upgrades, and a number of other things. And this influx of cash allows you to pay for these things without incurring debt. Distribution of risk is also a major draw of the CSA model for growers because members agree to accept part of the risk when they sign up for a share. So that way, if there's a crop failure due to pests, fungus, weather events, etc., that impact affects the grower much less than it would in a traditional farming model. And finally, there's a relationship building element that benefits both consumers and growers. Customers benefit because they feel a sense of community as well as gaining input in how their food is produced. And growers benefit because it allows them to build a network of like-minded people, which can lead to word-of-mouth marketing, access to more customers, and an opportunity to expand their land base. Our farm is here in Abingdon. It is 1/10 of an acre, and it accommodates 25 30-foot beds. In America, lawn maintenance uses 200 million of gasoline and 3 trillion gallons of water yearly. Instead of just using all those resources to grow grass just to cut it, we instead aim to channel some of those resources into growing food for the community. Using the urban farming model developed by the Canadian farmer Curtis Stone, we've turned this landowner's excess yard space into our growing area. This model allows us to keep our costs down by exchanging produce with the landowner for the use of their land. And based on our projections, this size of plot will be profitable in the first year, but it will also serve as a proof of concept that we can point to when seeking out a larger land base in the future. Throughout the season, these are the products that we intend to grow. This year, we are targeting mainly salad greens and staple vegetables, and we will also be adding cut flowers, herbs, and some unique vegetable varietals as time and space allow. A unique piece of our business model is that in addition to pickup at the Abingdon Farmers Market, we will be offering free delivery of our share boxes within 10 miles of the farm, and then we will do delivery outside of that area on a case-by-case basis. With the pandemic hopefully winding down, contactless delivery is going to be less of a current concern, but it's still going to be a service that we offer. And as people have increasingly busy schedules, the draw of convenient delivery is one that we believe will offer us an advantage in the market. And finally, there are several barriers to entry for customers that delivery overcomes. People who are elderly, people without reliable transportation, and people who are otherwise unable to leave their homes will still be able to enjoy local seasonal produce and not be excluded. A big question you may have is your product organic? And in short, the answer to that is no. Organic labeling at this time is cost prohibitive. So for this year and the next year, we are not going to be pursuing that. But if after that the demand is going to be there from our members, then it's something that we would consider pursuing. That being said, we aren't going to be out there dumping chemicals onto our tomatoes. We will not be using pesticides or inorganic fertilizer. Instead, we plan to use a no-till approach to growing that places emphasis on feeding soil life. Healthy soil has a complex web of symbiotic relationships between plant, fungi, and microorganisms that's destroyed when you use traditional tillage practices. And our no-till practices allow us to preserve that ecosystem. We have 3 main revenue streams that we anticipate totaling $7,000 for this first season. For our CSA shares with our current land base, we have the capacity for 10 members who we will be selling shares to at $500 each for a 25-week season. We're also going to have options for half seasons as well as weekly payment options, and those are priced a little bit higher to incentivize people to pay for the whole season. Additionally, excess produce, herbs, and flowers that won't fit into the share boxes, we intend to sell at the farmers market here in Abingdon. But because our focus will be on the share boxes, we've only projected that at about $1,000 for the season. And finally, we have brokered a deal with a restaurant in town to provide their herbs and a portion of their produce during our season, and that we anticipate totaling an additional $1,000. For our first year expenses, we spent just over $2,000 and anticipate spending an additional $2,750. The largest portion of this will be infrastructure investments, such as a walk-in cooler and a post-harvest station, as well as the mulch, compost, and tools that we need to prepare the site initially. We anticipate these costs dropping to less than $2,000 for subsequent years. And if we do decide to expand, we've estimated the cost of establishing new plots at 86 cents per square foot. And for this season, we are targeting a gross income of $2 per square foot. These are our immediate goals as a company. Building community relationships is going to benefit us by allowing us to reach a wider market, as well as towards our next goal of accessing a larger land base. Accessing a larger land base is something that's going to be critical for our growth. It's going to allow us to serve more members, build more community relationships, and create a positive feedback loop that way. We also need to develop a post-harvest process throughout the season that's going to allow us to deliver appealing quality products to our members. And to that end, a walk-in cooler is something that will greatly aid in that. It's going to allow us to rapidly cool our produce, extending its life, as well as giving us a little bit more flexibility in our harvest timing. And finally, this year, we hope to obtain data on the types of produce that members actually use and enjoy. It's going to allow us to focus subsequent season's crop plans on produce that members are more likely to use and reduce food waste. Thank you all for taking the time to be here tonight. And if you'd like to get in contact with me, this is my information, and I will be happy to take any questions.
Judges, any questions?
All right. Thanks,
Tyler,
guys.
can you stop sharing, please?
Yep.
Okay, our next contestant is the Peddling Goat, Derek and Anna Jones.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and screen share here.
Hey, can you guys hear us?
Yes, we've made contact.
Can you all hear us okay?
Okay. Thank you. So, thank you all for the opportunity to be here, and we just wanted to introduce you guys to the Peddling Goat, which is going to offer sharp trims, unique men's goods, and hopefully goat box gifts in the future. So who are we? Anna and I have been married for 10 years. We have 3 kids, Reed, Selah, and Luke. We have 2 dogs. We both went to Emory and Henry College, and we both got our master's in business administration at King College, which is King University. We've been in sales and marketing for 20 plus years, and we love being active in our community for volunteering and also at our churches, and we've coached local sports several years in the area. So, you know, before I got out here, I was going to get a tie and wear it to look really nice tonight. But all of my ties are awful looking, and Abingdon has no ties to offer us. So that's a problem we want to solve.
I was in Asheville today, and had you mentioned something to me, I could have stopped and got something on the way. I mean, in town, we can't find anything right now. Your closest upscale clothing shop, probably 20 minutes away. Closest even casual clothing shop is 20 minutes away. And if I wanted to find a men's gift, a small selection are kind of mixed in with our local vendors. And then, you know, if you were to just shop together, I mean, there's really nowhere for you to go. The good thing is that we do have some barbers offered throughout town, but kind of nothing where you can grab everything all at once.
So, the Peddling Goat, we want to offer sharp trims, unique men's goods and apparel, along with your goat box gifts. We want to be your small town men's retailer dedicated to delivering desirable apparel and trims with exceptional value and service.
So how can we help? Apparels and goods are part of the vendors to bring in upscale apparel and gifts. We also want to offer trims. So have a hometown barber providing an individual experience from quick cuts to warm shaves. And then lastly, we want to be a venue for our groomsmen gift. We want to have a goat box. And with that goat box, we'll have our logo stamped on it. And you can find your distinct gifts for men, or maybe even some things in the store that you may find for women.
So the business model looks, the products we want to carry obviously are local, regional, certainly state, and within the U.S. So the administration, obviously, we would be kind of the owners of the store, But what we want to do is kind of use local vendors to try and help supply the store so they not only it helps offset costs for us, but they would have a place to sell their product in a great location and be able to have a lot of foot traffic and get their product sold and get it known. So that would be one of the advantages of having the vendor, kind of the merch style, but also we would offer stuff on our own, stuff that we have done, like wood products, kind of unique things geared for men, but not necessarily just for men.
And that's something also we can offer locally. We want to reach out to regional vendors statewide and make sure we have those goods that are made in the US of A. Now, a little bit about our sources of revenue and how this would work. So our plan would be to rent a building, and then within that building, we would have vendors rent space. So part of the revenue would come from renting space on top of commission from sales. This would cover building rent, monthly fees, employee pay. Anything over that would be profit.
So some key metrics and projections. This is kind of early on for us, but kind of what we've done looking at other businesses. We've got maybe 6 months left in the year once we would get started. So we're thinking maybe 7,000 in retail sales for the remainder of the year. The second year we were hoped for 18,000. If you look at costs, or actually that would be part of revenue on top of that sales would be the 1,500 in per month for vendor rent and also the 500 for the barber. Some of the costs we're going to take on ourselves. The location we haven't totally secured yet, but the one we want, it's going to be about 10,000 in renovations to get the inside to be the experience that we want it to be for people when they come in. Also up front, there'll be 5,000 probably around that in inventory costs to get started. One cool thing too, we want to have some part-time employees for the youth so they can get experience in retail and learning how to talk with customers and, just sales in general. So that cost is going to be probably between $900 and $1,200 a month looking at those costs. And of course the building rent.
So a little bit about the competitive landscape. Currently, you can see some of the names mentioned here, but of course you have your brand name stores, other barbers that are in town or maybe right outside of it. Of course, online shopping as well. And then your men's stores that are in our region. All of these, remember, are not, other than the barbers, are not within the Abingdon area. All of these are a good 20 to 30 minutes away.
So how do we use our funds? Obviously, the cost for the remodel to get the interior renovated and get it up to speed as far as what we would like it to be like. Startup costs, marketing, and the startup on the inventory as well.
So most of all, we want to be your small town shop. When you can't find your tie, when you need a shave or maybe even a special gift, we want you to think of us. Our hope is to be involved in the community and to give back to the community, not only through providing jobs, but to be able to provide opportunities for local vendors to grow their business as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Judges, any questions?
Nope. No question.
Can you all stop sharing screen? Oh, yay, yay.
Okay. So we are down to Frog Level Guitar Shop, KT Van Dyke.
KT, you're going to have to turn your volume up.
KT, we can't hear you at all. So if you can try to reboot,
Katie, I have it shared. I have it saved on my PowerPoint. Would you like for me to show it from there?
But that's
He's trying to share a YouTube video.
oh. Yeah, we're going to have to back up and start again, I think. He's saying he has audio issues. Sandy, you're saying you have his PowerPoint?
Yeah, Katie, if you will stop sharing your screen, I will bring it up in my PowerPoint. I did it for this reason. Went ahead and saved it onto the PowerPoint.
KT, you need to stop sharing your screen. There you go. Okay, so Sandy's going to do it now.
Hello, my name is KT Van Dyke. I'm a luthier and the owner and operator of Frog Level Guitar Shop here in Abingdon, Virginia. We are a full-service instrument repair shop specializing in all things strings. So the shop was started over 30 years ago by my friend and mentor, Mr. Skip Herman. He was trained for a number of years under Dave Sturgill, who was a master banjo and guitar builder and repairman. Skip moved here, I think, in the early 80s with his family. He started Frog Level Guitar Shop. He's been here ever since. November of 2019, Skip retired officially from the business, and I took it over at that point. Whenever I moved to Abingdon in 2016, I was kind of a budding luthier, or a lot of interest in it, and I'd spent most of my professional career in the music industry, running Sanctum, doing events, performing, teaching. I got a job here in Abingdon and became acquainted with Skip, and once I found out that he was a luthier with all this experience, I don't think I left him alone from that moment forward. Well, I graduated from ETSU in 2015, and I studied bluegrass, old-time country music, and Appalachian studies while I was there. And I kind of got my first introduction to lutherie through a repairman and luthier, Will Parsons. And at that point in time, I really started taking lutherie more seriously. It's the ins and outs and practicing the craft. So when COVID hit in March, I was working about 4 different jobs. I was teaching a lot, performing a lot, and lutherie was just kind of on the side a little bit. So I was trying to practice in my spare time. When COVID hit, I lost every bit of work that I had. It was really unstable, scary time, as it was, I'm sure, for most people. But I was able to move full-time into, well, part-time at first, and then I found out that the demand was so high in not only the area but the region that I was really quickly able to step into it full-time. And I've been here in spring for 2020 that I really started going 5-6 days a week, 40 plus hours. So once I found that the demand was here and how much I really enjoyed it, really enjoyed the work, I was able to, make the decision to dedicate myself to it as a career. Daily operations here at the shop, I'm here about 6 days a week. I specialize in stringed instruments, primarily fretted and unfretted. That belongs to the guitar, mandolin, banjo, violin, cello, bass family, essentially. At least that's what we handle primarily in this area. Services we provide range from simple things like restrings and setups on a variety of instruments to bigger, more extensive jobs, such as neck resets, rebinding, hardware installs, finishing work. We do everything from simple to complex and advanced and everything in between. One reason I was attracted to Lutherie, not only was on the music side, but it's the tradition that lies here in the Appalachians, and more importantly, in Abingdon and the surrounding areas of Southwest Virginia. There's a long history of expert master luthiers here in this area, from Albert Hash to Skip Herman, obviously, Wayne Henderson. All these individuals have a legacy and have done great things here. There's a connection between the music and the builder in this area, and it's a long tradition that's run for years and decades. Just keeping alive that tradition that plays a lot within the heritage of that music. The two are kind of intertwined. Another thing that's important about being here in Abingdon, there's a big music scene here in Bristol, Johnson City, the Tri-Cities, and just Southwest Virginia period, with strong traditional and bluegrass music that's here. There is not a lot of luthiers out there, much less competition in the high-end repairs. Most luthiers in the area are either doing tech work, strings, setups, or they're building. One thing that I'm really proud of that I offer here at Frog Level Guitar Shop that a lot of other places don't is, again, the high-end repair work. A lot of customers that I have come here express the trouble they have in finding somebody either capable or willing to work on their instrument. And I'm happy to say that we offer that as a service here, trained in handling these vintage, rare, and expensive instruments. So hopefully I can help my customers as well as give them the ease of mind. So the primary service area for the shop is Abingdon and Washington County and the surrounding counties, as well as the Tri-Cities. But also, due to the demand, I pull a lot of people from Roanoke, Wytheville, southern West Virginia, northeast Tennessee, Greenville, outside of Johnson City, Bristol, as well as one or two customers from western North Carolina, and really hoping to expand into those markets a little more as years come. So I entered the business challenge for a number of reasons, primarily to learn. As a small business owner and the first time I'm doing this, there's a lot that I don't know. I feel confident about the service and product as the shop is concerned about what we can give the customers. It was really important for me to try and fill in the gaps of my knowledge. I've worked for myself for a number of years in my career, and I'm really confident with the services that I can provide my customers on the Lutherie standpoint. But it's the management, it's building a customer base, a market, how to manage the various aspects of running a small business in a town like Abingdon. And that's what I hope to get from the Washington County Business Challenge. If I was to win the business challenge, I think first and foremost, I would invest those winnings into a stronger marketing campaign, developing a logo for the business, developing some merchandise. One thing about a wood shop is you can never have enough tools. So expanding our selection of tools here is always a top priority. That allows me to have greater capabilities in the work and repair that I do, as well as more efficiently. Another aspect would be expanding the shop location. Right now, in a pretty small shop for future growth. That's where we're looking down the road, is to find a place in Abingdon, in Washington County, that's accessible for our customers, which allows me to have more space at a reasonable expense. So one improvement that I've had here with the shop over the last year is the development of our audience and our customer base online that I'm really happy with. At the beginning of 2020, I went from having really no social media presence whatsoever to now we're over 400 organic followers, which I'm really happy with. Just in the last 2 weeks, done over $1,200 in business after expenses. So that's another thing that I'm pretty happy about.
Very good. Okay. Judges, do you have any questions of KT? Going once, going twice. We're moving right along. Now, I think once we finish, if judges, if you think of something while you're finishing up your scorecard, we're going to still have all the contestants here, so you can still ask them a question as you're finishing up your scorecard. But we are now down to Sarah Beth Childers and Wolf Hills Coffee.
All right, let's see if I can have you look screen sharing. Let's see. I need to be read. I'll see if I can find. I think I will. Nope, I don't got it. Let's see.
Sarah Beth, the screen is still black. Are you struggling to get it?
Is it?
It's saying that we're seeing your screen, but what's sending out is a black screen.
Oh, that's not fun. All right, let me see what I can get. Well, it says I'm hearing, so.
Your camera may be off because we're not seeing your picture. Does it need to be on?
I think it's her internet coming and going, Tanya.
Okay.
Sarah Beth, can you see if you've got a strong internet connection? No.
No, I see what you screen. Okay. What do you know about screen sharing? Thank you. Oh, wait. It's not, I don't see how it says stop sharing, but there's no. Sorry, guys. Because you can't see me.
That's fine. They don't need to see.
Can you see me?
We can't see you, but we can see your screen.
Yes.
Okay.
We can see your screen now.
Oh. All right, can you see the screen?
Yep.
All right, sorry about that. Are we ready? Well, you guys probably are. I'm not. Okay, I'm good. Can we start?
When you were ready.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm Sarah Beth. I'm the owner of Wolf Hills Coffee, and I am really excited about this adventure. We started 1 year Thanksgiving, and we officially opened here on Court Street on October the 10th of 2020.
We actually started on our kitchen stove, but we have a mission to provide fresh roasted coffee, organic coffee. All of our products, we proudly use a company called Green Products, and they provide everything that we have in a biodegradable form, from our silverware to the packaging, all the way down to our trash bags. As much as we can, we order compostable and biodegradable. We are proud to partner with several different local stores and restaurants, and we want to provide a comfortable and fun, relaxing environment where people can just come and get comfortable and sit down and order various different beverages. So as I mentioned before, we did start on our kitchen stove. This is our very first ever roast. We go from the green to the yellowish brown color to the dark brown. So we watched these beans, we listened to these beans, and we smelled these beans, and we hoped for a fantastic outcome, and that wasn't what happened. They looked great, they smelled fantastic, but the beans were awful. But during that process, we realized how much we enjoyed it, how much we enjoyed receiving the beans from different places, learning about the different beans, and the different temperatures and regulations of what it takes to make good coffee with several different beans. So we bought a roaster, and it was a good little roaster until all of our friends started to ask us if they could buy the coffee. And then we bought another roaster and started selling at the farmer's market. This is the roaster that we have had now for a little over a year. She has a cute little pot belly and makes about 2 bags of coffee at a time. And we're able to take the computer and run a recipe, and she does lots of different roasts according to how we've roasted them before and programmed them. So she got us all the way from the farmer's market and through these first few days and weeks and months here in the brick and mortar. At the farmer's market, we got new labels and started training teenagers and looking for places to improve the space that we had for the coffee shop. And that quickly made us realize how this little tiny roaster was not going to last too much longer. So we drove to Orlando and we rescued this beautiful 15-kilo roaster who I now call Big Betty. And we picked her up on Disney properties. So that right there, that was fate, because we are some Disney nuts. And that rainbow just gave us comfort that maybe we were doing the right thing. So we found this space here on Court Street. The location, being Courthouse Hill, was really important to us. It was luck of the draw to be able to get this spot. I feel like it was a really fantastic. It's walkable to several different restaurants. It's walkable from several homes here in Abingdon, and this building itself had a lot of potential. We, with our friends and family, just dove straight in and started to do renovations and finding old stories, and people would stop by and come in and let us know. It made it feel like a second home, and it still does. I'm very surprised at how much it still feels like my baby to take care of and make sure she's okay. The space is really large, and we decided to partner with some friends by adding Appalachian Teas and Botanicals, as well as Tumbling Creek Cidery. They bring a multitude of different type of people, and almost anybody is able to find at least one thing that they like here, whether it's just company, other people, whether it's just the company of other people, or a different beverage. This spot allows for people to walk before and after a meal to enjoy each other's company. And we have not filled the room with chairs. We've tried to leave enough space for social distancing. We installed a stage, as you can see off to the left in this room, and the mezzanine, which I'll speak of, is right up there. So it's hopefully feels like home when you can come in and sit down and check things out. These are our Tumbling Creek and Appalachian Teas and Botanical family, who we are very excited to continue to grow with. The building has lots of seating out front, which is a bonus in COVID times, but we are hoping to expand to the back and a patio. This is our lovely roaster, which I have 10 employees now. They are all trained to use this delicate piece of equipment, and she's doing a beautiful job for us, and we're so glad to have her in this family. So we have 10 employees and 2 managers, and they share the responsibilities of opening and closing, and we work hard to improve on the consistencies of drinks to make sure that people are getting the same drink every time they come in. We are partnered with 2 local bakeries. They are Bristol Bagel and Bakery and Balkan Bakery. So we have pastries, we have the muffins, we have the bagels, and we try to keep the food case full of something sweet and savory all the time. Renovations are something that we are going to need a little bit more cash for. This alley right here with the rock and the pergola is a beautiful little spot with a greenhouse where we hope to provide seating and twinkle lights and plants. And the patio will be bricked, and we'll put outdoor furniture, and it will open up to Plum Alley, which will be welcoming to anybody who's walking by. That gets a lot of foot traffic, and hopefully they can bring a dog in or just sit for a little while and talk to some friends. The next one is our mezzanine, which is the curtains area above the tea room. We are going to expand with steps and make that into a cozy living area. And it will look down upon the stage at the other end of the room so that you can enjoy the live music from up there. So that is something that we are going to need to spend funds on. This is a barrel of beans. This is how they go from green to dark and measuring them out. We sort of feel like that sometimes.
Time. 8 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Judges, do we have any questions? No questions. Okay, we're down to.
Say, I want a cup of coffee right now.
I know. We're down to Town Square Medical, Matthew Justice.
Hey, Sandy, can you pull up my PowerPoint?
You can do this.
I got this, buddy. Hard to follow good coffee and killer music.
Music all the way, rock on! Woo.
All right, are we ready?
Go.
All right. Hey, guys. My name's Matt Justice. I want to welcome you to I'm competing as Town Square Medical. It's a professional limited liability company. Next slide. We are competing as a new business in Glade Springs. Next slide. Okay. Basically who we are, you can see a picture. That's me. I'm president. There's my vice president and the head dog in charge, Bismarck. Short story. My name's Matt Justice. I'm a PA. I've been practicing in this. I grew up in Richland, and I've been practicing in this region since 2004. I've done some primary care work, primarily in the emergency room. I'm a patent holder. I've worked with the Department of Defense as a contractor to develop some of those patents. Also a rental property and developer and owner. And short story, this came along in August during COVID season. I started getting a lot of phone calls and taking care of a lot of people, both peers and people that I've seen in the past and friends and things. And it came up to about 4 or 5 people a day who I was taking care of because they did not have access to their primary care doc. Their doc wouldn't let them in because of COVID, or they were on hold all the time and they couldn't get through and they couldn't get to care. So one day, one of my buddies said, you know, you just need to do this. So guess what? We're doing it. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Now, the rationale, looking at the location, I took Glade Springs because I primarily worked in Marion and Abingdon, but most in just Southwest Virginia. Glade Springs is pretty much situated, if you can look right in between Marion and Abingdon. You have the kind of like a little 4-way crossroads there with 107 going into Saltville, Rich Valley. We pull from Damascus. There's not a lot of practices between in this area. You have Meadowview Clinic, you have Glade Clinic, who their primary physician is actually retiring in May. So it'll be a great time for us to unlock some of those established patients with those practices. Okay, so we decided on Glade Springs. Next slide. Okay, so started looking. I said, Glade Springs, what am I going to do? So I drove down to the town square and immediately fell in love with this building, which is 202 Town Square Street. And I call it my Hallmark movie. I'm a guy, but this place kind of touched me. And it kind of makes me hearken back to the way that I want to do practice. Okay, so it already has a space and facilities for established business and the spa on the right side, which estimates about $1,500 a month in auxiliary revenue to kind of offset the expenses there. Next slide. Okay, so the first of these endeavors is Town Square Medical. It's going to be in the old Glade Hardware store building. We're going to offer primary care, preventative care, virtual visits, DOT sports physicals, home visits. I've already done several visits home visits before we even got our building done. Within the first 3 months, we're looking at 3 full-time employees, including myself, and there'll probably be 2 in the spa side. I'm already making a $300,000 initial investment. We're looking at within the first 6 months an estimated gross per month income of $31,000 and estimated expenses of like $12,500. These are generous estimates, but they're probably knocking within in the plus or minus 15% range. Next. Now, what makes us special is, hey, I listen. I'm a provider. I'm from Southwest Virginia. I grew up here. I've taken care of these people, for a long time, and the community has taken care of me. So what we've got is there's going to be no recorded phone calls. We'll have a live receptionist. Okay. If you look in this picture, we're going to start out with 2 initial patient rooms, which kind of reflects Southwest Virginia. I've covered the outside of them with barn 10, but they're 10 by 10 rooms. We're going to have a couch, a television. We're going to have a table and an exam room to where you pull up, you call us, we bring you in and we check you in the room. The nurse sees you in the room. We do everything in the room and then you go back out. That way that there's no awkward waiting room. There's none of that waiting at the window, going back and forth. You move once from your car and once back into your car. So I think we can really set things different for us and actually make a lot better patient experience and actually cut down on some of the anxiety that you would see in a sterile patient room, if that makes any sense to you. But, the idea is to bring back old school type medicine with new technology in the old town square and kind of give you that idea of, hey, I'm bringing my care back into the town square and back home. Next. Okay. The other investment, the other endeavor that's going into the space is the Red Door Spa. We already have existing red light therapy, a salt room, and we have a massage therapist who's already practicing right at the moment. We're going to augment that with some of the services that you'll be able to get in this space through Town Square Medical, which will be some cosmetic procedures. We're going to do, I'm partnering with 2 counselors also, and we'll be doing some IV therapy and things. So, or if we have a patient who is just totally uncomfortable in a traditional doctor's office setting, we can bring them over to the spa setting. That way that they're able to, to get the care in a low key place where they're more comfortable about, and make sure that we're being able to accommodate them in the best way. All right, next. Now, what we're looking at is our projections. This is just for Town Square Medical. We're looking at 3-month projections. We're looking at a 15 patient per day. Start out with the 3 full-time employees, be myself, a nurse, and a receptionist. All right, and then we're looking at 6 months up to capacity there. We want to limit ourselves at like a 24 patient per day per provider, and that'll provide us a lot more income with same infrastructure. At the 1-year milestone, I'd like to project and add another female provider to kind of offset the male provider in our, which will be myself, and kind of add a little bit more environment there too. And that will increase the revenues by at least 2/3 and only add another nurse. Next. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm competing for this fund. I'd add the technology, computers, and I would like to have the accountant services, and I'd like to put hardwood floor all the way in my building. So that's us. That's 202 Town Square Medical, and Red Door Spa. And I forgot, we're adding an established medical weight loss clinic in there also. So here we go.
Time. Thank you.
Hey, judges, any questions? Any questions? Matthew, is this part of the Project Glade?
Actually, it's project out of Matt Justice's pocket is what this is.
This isn't part of the Project Glade initiative?
No, not that I know of. They haven't.
Okay.
Several times, but it's Project Matt Justice.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any questions? Going once, going twice. We are down to Love and Light Specialty Boutique, Kitsy Manuel.
We got the quietest judges I believe I've ever seen.
I asked 2 questions.
Okay. Okay. So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, hey guys, I am Kitsy Manuel with, as you said before, Love and Light Specialty Boutique. We are a physical boutique here in Abingdon, Virginia. I started about 2 years ago online, and we just progressively started to outgrow our space. And we now sell through a website. We sell on Facebook. We sell on Instagram, Pinterest. We're all over the place. You can find us all over the place. We advertise through Google, Facebook ads, radio. We're out there. So we physically opened this location on November 14th of 2020. And we'll get into more about who we are. And if you guys are more interested, you can click our link or go look us up on Google. And there's a big, long story about how we got started, but we'll get more into that as well. So what's the need for a boutique? who's looking for boutique clothing. So the need for a boutique is to offer quality, variety of items, different things than what you can find elsewhere. Yes, there are other boutiques, but the great thing about boutiques is that we're all going to have something different. So it doesn't matter if you shop at Rainbow Frog in Damascus, who is awesome, by the way, or if you shop at Market on Main, which they're great too. You're going to find something different wherever you go at different price points. We pride ourselves on being able to provide quality, affordable boutique clothing right here on Main Street in Abingdon. We try to be inclusive in our sizing. And who is out there looking for boutique clothing? Primarily women. Even though we offer men's and children's clothing, who buys the clothes for the family or anything for the family, really? Primarily it's women. So our target demographic is 25 to 45-year-old women, which in Abingdon, we have approximately 4,000 women bouncing around here. But we primarily sell, well, not primarily, but mostly sell on online, not just because of the pandemic, but because that's where I started. So I have folks all over the country. I ship all the way to California and the Midwest, South, North, even as far as Canada. I have a couple of folks up there who love us, and they're willing to pay that extra shipping for us to ship to them. So like I said, we have a great little community. I call our ladies, our lovelies, a community of gals that we just love. And we'll get more into that too. But, and then you're also, folks in our area are looking to support small. I noticed my sales actually increased when the pandemic hit. And I do feel like it's because people wanted to shop local and support local businesses. So I have a little bit of a video about who we are and what we offer.
Okay, who is LLSB and what do we offer? Love and Light Specialty Boutique is a Christian clothing boutique. And I mention that because that is something that's important to me. This is my faith. And I always say, you don't have to love Jesus to shop with us, but if you shop with us, you're going to know that we love Jesus. It's part of our branding. It's on our tags. It's on my business card. It's out there. So things that we offer. We offer women's clothing from size small up to at least a 3X. And we try to get up to a 5X whenever possible. We also offer men's and children's clothing. And we also offer a variety of accessories, home decor, and gifts. So we have a nice variety. Several local artisans and crafters have items here. Those items for our vendors, it costs us nothing to invest in that except for space. And then we make 25% commission off of their sales. And then they're getting their name out there. We boost them a lot. And so we're also giving back to our community in that way. And they also are boosting by posting our information and saying, hey, we have our things in your shop. So these are the way that this is one of the ways that we boost others in the community as well as ourselves. So that is who LOSB is. Thank you.
And since we were talking about our vendors in that little video, we love our vendors. They have similar morals and values and goals that we have. So this is just a sampling of some of what our vendors offer here. And we just love them. We are always getting new vendors in. Some of them cycle out, some of them cycle in. It's awesome. So I read an article when I was doing my research that according to retaildive.com, we're in an apparel apocalypse. It's not my experience that we're in. They said in 2020, they hit a sorry, something popped up on my computer there. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It said something's up with my audio. But anyways, it said we hit a 22% decrease in retail sales in 2020. However, my personal sales have increased. So I'm going to show you guys a chart, but I'm going to compare my November 2019 to my November 2020 sales. In November 2019, we almost tripled in 2020 what we made in 2019. And speaking of that, we were only open a week and a half in November of 2020. So this is a chart of our last quarter in 2019 versus our last quarter in 2020. Now, to be fair, in December of 2019, I took that month off to spend time with my kiddos. And so we really pushed it in November so we could take that month off. And I also had a full-time job at that time. This is my full-time job now. So this is what our December 2020 sales looked like. So it looks really good, which it was good, but especially compared to 2019. So what's our secret? We love our customers and we like to make them happy. We do personalized shopping. We leave personalized notes in their packaging. We give them little gifts randomly. We do sales to show our appreciation. Well, I pulled some of our Google reviews to show you guys some samples of what folks like to say about us. We don't have one and done customers unless they're like, oh, out of town. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, judges, do you have any questions of Kitsy first? And do you have any questions of any of the contestants that we've had? Sandy, will you tell me, I do not see our last contestant online. Do you?
No, I've not seen her. So
we're at the end. And so now is the time, if you've been scoring and you're a little hesitant on a score, or you want a little bit more information, judges, now's the time to ask those questions. Okay. All right. Well, we certainly, I cannot tell you how impressed I was tonight. I did some statistics today from our previous business challenges, and our contestants from the previous business challenges have a 49% success rate since 2014. And I think that is just phenomenal for a program that we started from scratch. So tonight's contestants blew me away. I'm just going to tell you, I did not expect to hear what I did, and it was great.
And Kitsy, I had never heard you speak for 5 weeks, and here you come out of nowhere just doing a whole production. Congratulations. That's why I love this program.
Yep, I do too. And so here's what I want to remind everybody. On March the 2nd by 5 p.m., your written business plan is to be emailed to the Washington County Chamber of Commerce office, and I'm going to let Nita unmute so that she can give you the exact email address.
Actually, it needs to go to the same address that you sent your application to, the Gmail account.
Right.
Which is WASH. It's WASHCTYBIZ@gmail.com.
And if you forget it, it's on your guidelines and your application. So you should have that in your notes.
Okay, so in the chat, we've got lots of congratulations to everyone in the chats. Richard Graves, Cindy Fields, we've all said we think this has just been phenomenal. You all have done a fantastic job, and you have completed your classes. You have completed the hardest part, I always thought, is the pitch. And, now you are on your way to completing the whole challenge. And as I said, we will send you emails letting you know once all of the written business plans have been scored. We will know the results in the next, I'd say, month or so.
Hey, judges, I'd just like to hear from you. This was the first time you knew nothing about our contestants for 2021. I'd just love to hear any comment you may have. Feedback.
I thought everybody did an excellent job of presenting. It was really interesting to see some of the business concepts that were out there, new to this area, which I find exciting. So I want to thank everybody.
I agree with Sally. This is Jim speaking. Congratulations to everyone. I've been around this business challenge quite a few years, and it just seems to grow exponentially. And I think your future as entrepreneurs is very bright, and I appreciate you all making such a contribution to our community, because it's businesses like you that make us a better place to live. So I thank each one of you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm incredibly impressed with all of your presentations. You could really tell that you all put so much time and effort and passion into what you're doing. And we are so lucky to have you all as part of this community. And I wish you all the utmost success. And I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And we'll definitely be cheerleader for all of you. So wish you all the best.
I think you all are ready. One way or other, you're all ready to succeed in your business plan. Some of the ideas, they were so unique. I never thought that I will see in our small community. And it just amazes me that some big cities ideas are coming up in our small town. And I think you have only ways you are going to go up from here. So very good job. This is my second year as judging, and this bunch is really special. I really enjoyed listening to everyone's speech. Good luck, everyone.
Okay, so contestants, do you have any questions before we sign off tonight? Okay, well, very good. Good luck, everybody. If you need help with your business plans, be sure and contact any one of us or any of the mentors on your list. And we're here to help. We want to see you succeed, and so we hope you have a good evening.
Good luck, everybody. Have a good one.